Namaskar. Welcome to Conversations with Rakesh. Here's today's question. Rakesh, it has become impossible for me to communicate with my kid. They are always on their electronic devices and refuse to interact with me. How should I connect better with them? This has become such a big problem for all of us. I have three kids. All of us are connected with children, youngsters, and this device and the laptop and the television, I think they've become necessary evils in our lives. I've also seen how parents use the gadgets to even bribe their children to eat food. I mean, I've seen with my own eyes that children will not eat unless you give them some video and some game or some fun stuff on their cell phones, and they will eat only when that is given to them. And this has become a deafening call for all of us to understand what's going on and do something about it. So, what I'm going to do is request you to think about a very different concept which might help you deal with this situation better. See, remember one thing, that the child did not ask for this. The kids were given this life. And to understand this, there is a great example of a movie called The Truman Show. It's one of the best movies ever made, and it has a fantastic concept. The concept is that there is a Hollywood studio, and the studio's producers and directors, played by Ed Harris, conceptualizes a world where they put a person in the middle of that world. It's completely artificial, and that person is Truman, played by Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey and Truman, that's the character he plays, he doesn't know that everything around him is a show. So he lives his life as if everything is normal. But this entire industry around him is completely fake. There are actors, they even create a fake town, there is a house, there's a river. Truman has created this world and he is given episodes by actors which make him live the life that he's living right now. And there are people outside this, so it's like a big giant dome in which Truman lives, and it's a studio, and Truman has no clue, but everybody in the world is watching him live. So it's a show called The Truman Show, and people are addicted to it. It's a $1 billion business and all that stuff. And there are people who are trying to tell Truman that this is not the truth, this is not the real world. And that's what this movie is all about, and how Truman discovers that what is in front of me is not the real world, and he goes and finds the real world. Now, let me connect it to our children and the generation today. This is the world we have given them. It's not their fault. They didn't ask for it. And now that we have given this world to them, and thanks to the pandemic where they were holed inside their rooms, this device was the only way for them to do anything. Their entire education went online. They are sitting from morning till night on a laptop. And then the laptop and cell phone has apps, so they start playing around, and those apps suck them into their world because these apps are designed to create addiction. They make more money by the weaknesses of our children and all of us. So those great apps with all kinds of 30-second videos and cool games, they're fun. There's a lot of stuff in that to interact, and you start getting sucked into it. So the kids are sucked into this world, and this gives them a new purpose, identity, escape route. It solves their boredom problems. It gives them some sort of a identity as well, because they start showing off to their friends and they find a group of people they connect with. Now, please remember that your role as a parent is to empathize with them. I think they are going through hell, and so are you. But if you understand the hell that they are going through and what will happen if you take this device away, I think you will be able to deal with this better. So, step number one, please empathize with this new generation. It's not their fault that we have given them cell phones, and they're addicted to it. And now that they're addicted to it, it's taking a toll on our lives. First of all, their health is bad, their eyes and ears and senses are going down, their mental growth is stunted, there are mental unwellness issues we know about, there are serious cases of personality disorders, lot of things are happening. Then there is all kinds of vices and dirt that this cell phone throws, pornography, dark net, and all that stuff. This generation is very clued in to all of that, and this is a fault of our generation and the generation before it, that technology is a boon, but unfortunately it also has lot of vices and dirt that it brings with it, and we have to deal with it. So please understand that they're also going through a lot, and every generation has to live with this new technological changes. So please learn to tell yourself that this is not their fault. This was the world given to them, and they are sucked into it. They are now prisoners of that world. So now comes the question that how do we solve the problem? How do we help them? How do we get them to talk to us? And how do we make their lives better? And that's a very critical part. Here's what couple of things I did after this question came. I asked my own teammates and they gave some amazing suggestions. One of my teammates talked about that how it was important for her as a mother to understand that before the pandemic and this online education, her daughter used to read a lot of books, but after the pandemic she's so sucked into the cell phone world that she stopped reading books, and the only thing she nowadays watches are videos by Ariana Grande and so on and so forth. So her leaders earlier were Kalpana Chawla, now it is Ariana Grande. So that's a world that they have become a part of. And the second thing is that if you try and take away the cell phone and the laptop, it's almost like a punishment to them. And this is a big problem with that generation, that first of all, they are in a very bad environment. And if you get very angry, upset, nag them, it's not helping them. It will make it worse. So what you have to understand is that please don't snatch away the devices thinking you're going to protect them. I think you're going to harm their self-esteem and their self-confidence, because they'll think that something is wrong with them. They did something wrong. And they're really not doing anything wrong. They're just addicted to this device which was given to them. And their school comes through this device. Their friends come through this device. So they don't have the maturity to understand what's right and wrong. So taking away something will be like a punishment. And when you punish a child, their mental thought processes blame themselves, and they go into a shell which could be very detrimental for their future life. So please don't nag them. Please don't take away these things from them. I think you need to first of all learn to deal your own emotions and then deal their emotions. So your anger may not be a good idea. Your frustration may not be a good idea to take out on them. The last thing which I'd like to talk about is this is where your role as a parent is to find a way to make them comfortable with you. It will be hard. They will be always looking in this cell phone and eating food, and they will not give you any time. So I think they also look at you as a parent. And if you are on the cell phone and laptop working all the time, they'll also figure out that this is the world they are living in. So you take a break from the cell phone and the laptop, demonstrate to them that this is not my world. Read a book, do something meaningful, and take them with you. Let them warm up to a conversation. Don't just force a conversation. I think it's important for you to warm them up to you. So maybe at a family time or a dinner time, see if you can speak their language. If they like Ariana Grande, fine, talk to them about Ariana Grande. This is the language they understand. So warm up to them. You are a parent. They have no one else in this world except you who loves them unconditionally. So you change first. Learn what's going on. Sit with them and even play a game. Get into their world first. And when you're in that world, that's when you need to start talking to them and make them realize that this world of cell phone and laptops is the Truman world. It's not the real world. Give them a chance to take away time from that world. Give them a request that, hey, why don't you just shut it for 2 hours and Let's do something. Let's play Monopoly. Let's play a deck of cards. Let's just talk. Why don't you tell me about your movies you watched? Go for a walk, maybe, if possible. I think that's how you make them warm up. And then you give them some incentives that if you can stay away from a cell phone for few hours today, here's an incentive. And build those bridges with your children. Because I think at this point of time, your punishment, anger, frustration, and imposing laws that this is bad for you, it's bad for your eyes, I think it will never go in the right spirit. They will actually curl into a shell which is equally bad for them. So let me summarize the three requests I have for you. Request number one, please learn to empathize with them. It's not their choice. All right. Request number two, you change yourself first and go into their words. Speak their language. Behave in a way that they would also see that there is a change. If you read books, they'll start reading books. If you stop watching the cell phones and laptops, they might adhere to that. But you have to first do it yourself before they do it. And the last is warm up to them. See if they can talk to you on topics that they like, on things that matter to them. And then give them a choice that, hey, how about letting this go for a few hours and doing something together? Because this is the time they need a friend. They don't need a disciplinarian. A very big problem of parenting is crossing the line between friendship and disciplinarianism. And my request is that they don't need a disciplinarian father or mother right now. They need a friend. Because they don't have a friend, they go to a cell phone. So if you become their friend at this crisis, I think that warm up will come. Sometimes they will not talk to you, but let them just sit with you. Silence is very good. And if it's a comfortable silence, you've made a great progress. Earlier, they were not even looking at you. Now, at least they're silently sitting with you. And the next stage is hopefully some conversation which will bring the joy back in the family. This is a very, very tough time for our children. And I think all of us have to come together to help them realize that this is the Truman world, the Truman show. It's not the right world, it's fake. But we don't have to preach them. They have to feel from within that, yeah, something is not right. And they will come out. And when they come out, we have to extend that hand and bring them out. Stay safe. Hi there. I hope you're enjoying the videos my team and I are putting together based on the questions you send us. If you like this video, do check out the others on the channel. And also check out the courses I and my team of experts teach on communication, confidence, collaboration, curiosity, creativity and competence on our website some.education. That's some.education. All the details are in the description box below. Last not least, please do like, share and subscribe to our videos. They really help us. I do videos every Sunday 5 p.m. based on your questions. So keep them coming and stay tuned.